and welcome to the epic 15th edition of the Red Bull Romaniacs here in Transylvania, Sibiu. I'm Daryl Curtis. I've raced this crazy stuff before. Let's go and have a look and see exactly where we are. Well, a massive crowd has gathered here behind me to witness the prologue here. It's taken Andy Fazekas a couple of days to set up this amazing prologue that we've got over here. It was a little bit slick in practice. It seems to have dried out a little bit. And yes, it's raining again. It's going to be absolutely epic. This will be followed by 4 off-road days in the mountains, some of the best hard enduro riding in the world.
Currently looking at an overview of the racetrack for today. You've walked it, Cody.
Yeah, I did a whole little track walk yesterday. It's definitely going to be really tough out there, especially if it's raining, which is going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah, it's pretty full on, huh? So there's no break for the riders here. There's no rest. It's Red Bull Romaniacs. People come here expecting that. This is your first time here?
Yeah, first time here. Unfortunately, I'm not able to race because broke my foot at round 2 of West in Erzberg, and so now I'm just hanging out, commentating with you, and it's the next best thing to not being able to race.
Yeah, we're in amongst the action, aren't we?
Yeah.
Should be a really exciting evening coming up for us. We've got bronze, silver, and gold races, and obviously the gold guys are the best in the world. Should be great. Should be interesting to see how they tackle this track. There's no let up. We've had a bit of rain about 5 minutes ago, so yeah, it's going to be slippery.
And then one other thing that's really cool about this prologue today is the first 53 meters has 53 different obstacles, and that's to represent the 53 countries participating this year. So it's going to be really, really tough, and it's so tight. There's no room for any error, any mistake, and everyone's going to be so fatigued. And with the rain, hopefully it holds off, and it's going to be really tough for all the riders.
Are you actually upset you're missing out this, or you kind of happy to just be watching?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
de start sunt copii cu cele 53 de steaguri. Puteți face un puzzle sau un quiz cu cei mici să vedem cine recunoaște mai multe drapele, ăla micu sau taică-su. Imediat ce vor fi așezate pe poziții drapelele, riderii vor începe să vină spre zona Rompetrol, chiar aici în fața tribunei magice, unde vom vorbi cu primii 10 de la clasa Gold.
Poate mulți dintre voi știu, am avut și o paradă ieri cu câte un reprezentant al fiecărei țări care a dus steagul națiunii sale din Piața Mare până aici, la traseul de prolog al Red Bull Romaniacs 2018. Avem și poarta de bun venit pentru cele 53 de națiuni. Așa cum bine spunea și Dani, putem să facem o joncțiune cu ce vedem pe partea stângă și cei pe partea dreaptă, să vedem cum se pupă toate steagurile cu denumirile țărilor. Un exercițiu foarte bun de geografie, fără doar și poate.
Around it, say Romaniacs, oh yeah, the big motorboat race, they know how it works, they know what goes on. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing that goes on here. So it looks like those tires are dried up pretty well.
Yeah, no, the track's actually improving a lot from earlier today. And yesterday they were doing the quick little trial run, and the pro riders were really having a struggle out there. So I really just hope the weather holds off. It seems like it's doing pretty good right now, and time will tell, though, of course.
Yeah, we've had some really strange weather this summer in Sibiu. I've never seen it so wet here. Martin Franadomitz, the organiser, he's lived here maybe 16 or 17 years, and he's never seen such a wet summer. The rivers are overflowing, but basically all the tracks are soaked through. I'm a track manager for day 2, so we've been out preparing that track, and there's not a whole lot of grip out there. So all the riders, they've got to get through this prologue, and then the next 4 days they've got to spend off-road in the mountains, and it's not going to be easy. Even some of the easier tracks are getting pretty tough right now.
Yeah, I'll believe you when you say that, because I didn't get. This is my first time here at Romaniacs. I never got to race it before, but when you guys put on Minas Riders, I went there, and I mean it was really tough. So I can only imagine with the weather, how it's been lately, how tough it's going to be.
Yeah, no, it's full on. And I guess this is like the mother, sort of the mother of all. Actually, no, that's the Roof of Africa's trademark, isn't it? You can't say it's the mother of all. But this is one of the original huge, great big hard enduros. Like I said before, it's 15 years old. I've been told it was the first enduro to introduce like the urban prologue, which is sort of taken on all around the world. Lots of people have got involved in that.
Yeah, almost every single hard enduro now is kind of taken into that whole thing.
He was riding with his father.
I'm Daryl Curtis. We're here with the 2018 Romaniacs. I'm here with Mario Romain and Cody Webb. We're going to go check out this mad prologue. And this one over here coming up is really interesting for me. It's the first time I've seen something like this.
We have a water hole and the logs are just floating in there, so I have no idea how you're going to ride this, Mario. What are your thoughts?
I will try to make a small wheelie, jumping into the middle, because otherwise...
First, we met in 2014. You were riding with your father. What's your plan for this year?
This year, I just want to keep it on the wheel, be safe, and hopefully make it in top 10. But it's going to be very, very tough, long and hard, and I hope I can just make it.
How do you like Romania for riding?
It's an amazing country, the second best after Czech Republic.
Where is your father right now?
I think he's somewhere in the ground just watching, and I believe he's going to support me.
Thank you so much. He's David Ciprian. David Ciprian, tot timpul alături de taică-su. Alături de el a participat prima oară la Red Bull Romaniacs și a și câștigat clasa Experts Team, el fiind minor. Astăzi tatălui îi face asistență și e undeva alături de noi cu siguranță. Cred că e cea mai mare bucurie a unui tată. Se întâmplă și în familia Lettenbichler la fel, să vii alături de fiul tău. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mario Roman! Mario Roman, ladies and gentlemen, second last year. Do you think you can do better this year?
Hopefully.
People say that you like longer rides, longer races, not short with steep stuff, just long, go, go, go.
Yeah, exactly. This is my favorite race of the season so far. It's 5 days, 8 hours per day, lot of kilometers, navigation. You have to be focused all the time, so this is what I like. This is why I train, and I think I will do very good. Number 2 is not so bad, but maybe I can take the top spot of the podium, hopefully.
So, cool thing about Mario is, we heard him say he likes 4 hard days in the mountains, and he's someone who likes to be really fit. He's a super strong rider. He's got long training days on the bike. So I think come by the end of the week, we're going to see some really strong finishes from Mario, and he'll be a really big threat.
He was actually, last year, he lost a lot of time on the first day on one hill. He missed the track, and he lost pretty much all the time there that he missed out on the win to Graham. So I remember him saying at the end, he was like, if I hadn't done that, I would have been neck and neck with Graham. Which says a lot. So next up, we've got Paul Bolton, the world's fastest privateer.
Yeah, definitely. Paul is always a crowd favorite. He's just so personable on and off the bike. All the riders just enjoy being around him. And, he does a great job always of doing the track preview. He's given us a little detail here of what to expect later. But, Paul and his wife, they travel to all the races together, and they run it like it's a privateer setup, so it's really impressive to see how well he does.
Paul Bolton, ladies and gentlemen, people say you already moved to Romania, you already have the documents, you are a Romanian.
No, I'm not really, but I've been here a little bit before doing some training schools, and I love the country. Always can't wait to get back to Rebel Romaniacs, see all you guys, and try and remember all the good times I've had here, and then a good race in the forest, and be a good race.
Last year you said you were fit. How are you this year?
After just making a mistake there a few times, I don't feel very fit here, but no, I'm ready for the race, and I can't wait to get going. The prologue's a bit of fun for you guys here, and let's see how it goes.
Thank you so much. Paul Bolton, Bolts!
So last year, Paul finally got the monkey off his back after coming so close to a podium so many times here in Romania. He finally got his third. I remember talking to him after the race. It was like a huge weight had been lifted off him. And I was talking to him last week, and he said, I don't care what I do now, I've done it now. I've got the podium, I'm sweet, no pressure. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, the pressure's off of Paul, and, you know, he's been here for a couple of weeks, so I expect a lot from him. And, of course, now we got Jarvis, the man, the myth, the legend. He's incredible.
You can never count this guy out.
Graham, people say you're the king of Carpathians. Do you know why?
Well, I've won it once or twice, so I suppose that qualifies me for something.
Once or twice. Can you read on the back of my t-shirt how many times? Where 1, 2, is it 6? Yeah, 6.
It's not enough, not enough.
Never enough. Last year you said you're not going to retire until you're 85. Have a great race, man, and see you at the finish.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you.
Graham Jarvis.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see with the weather this week. I mean, we all know how Graham can be when the conditions are wet and nasty, and he seems to really thrive in that. So I think all the other riders are going to be in a lot of trouble if the weather turns for the poor.
As I've been riding around this week on the day 2 tracks, it's just been super wet, and you can't count Graham out. It's in many ways it's sort of playing into his hands.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little unfair for the others, but.
Here's Wade now from South Africa.
Hello, Wade. Do you think you can beat your bad luck? Your bad luck, I may say, you had last year?
Yeah, definitely. I only got halfway through last year, so it's not too hard to beat last year.
Assume a position for Saturday.
Yeah, look, it would be nice to be in the top 3. A lot of good guys here, so it's a long weekend. Just don't want to make any mistakes.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Wade Young.
So we were just saying, Wade had a big crash here last year on the first day. He was in the leading group, and obviously the pace is so high now. Everyone's pushing, and he dropped into quite a steep downhill. Just lost control at the bottom, just went a bit too fast, and sort of slid out and hurt himself. Did he hurt his? I think it was his neck or his back.
He broke his back, I think. It was a really bad
his
crash.
back, knocked himself. He was concussed, so had to pull out of the race. So interesting to see how he comes back from that. And here we have Taddy.
Everyone loves Taddy. He's always a crowd favorite, so it's really exciting to see how he'll do this year.
Yeah, you know, I'm now media, so no number 1 anymore. I've got 11. Just wanted to go back and have some more fun riding, and here we are. You know, it's a new championship, West Championship. It was something that I think was awesome for the sport, and I just wanted to be a part of it.
People say that on this bit, you may be the fastest today.
Well, you know, I don't know. It's just prologue, you know, at the end of the day. So we have to think about the whole race and get a smooth run and, you know, get some good start position for tomorrow and go from here.
Thank you so much. Taddy Blazusiak!
Taddy had a go in 2010 at Romaniac, so that's 8 years ago now. It's crazy to think how long ago that is. So he's back here. It's only his second attempt at Romaniac, so he's probably got a bit of experience from watching videos, I'd say.
Yeah, and
he hasn't been riding it.
I know for sure Taddy's hungry. He's pretty much fresh out of retirement. He realized he loved the sport, and, you know, he's such an icon at Erzberg and, you know, the sport of hard enduro, so I really expect a lot from him this week. And, of course, wild and young Billy Bolt's up next. Always good story with this guy. I'll see what he has to say.
What's your plan for this week?
Just stay safe and try and make the finish line in one piece. Avoid any disasters, and I think if we can do this, the finishing position should be pretty good.
Thank you so much. Billy Bolt.
Billy came second in the World Enduro Championship, Super Enduro Championship behind you, didn't he?
Yeah, no, Billy is like the probably strongest guy I've ever seen ride a motorcycle. That's probably what's so impressive about him is he can be stuck in the worst position ever and just lift up his whole bike and drag it out. So not only does he have the skills, but he's got crazy amounts of strength. And I mean, he's got a huge passion for riding the motorcycle. So, you know, if he can keep it on two wheels, I think we should see him pretty high up on the results this week.
Sure, he's growing in experience every week, isn't he? Every year he gets better.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Paul Torres just came from trial riding.
Did you used to ride trials with him?
Yeah.
So maybe. Is it too hard for you, a race for 4 days, given the fact that you only ride this kind of bike for 2 years?
Yeah, really, it's very hard the race for me because I never do before a rally race, and then it's the first time, but I try to do the maximum of me.
Thank you so much. Paul Torres, ladies and gents.
All right, so I used to actually compete with Paul Torres a lot on trials. A lot of people don't know this, but his uncle was like 7-time world trials champion, Jordi Torres. So Paul's got incredible skills on the bike, and I'm really excited to see how he'll do this week. He's been training really hard. He rides with Taddy and Johnny pretty frequently, so we'll expect a lot from him.
Of course, you got none other than Johnny Walker.
For this year's Red Bull Romaniacs.
Plan is the same as every other race, is just to try and win it. You know, stay healthy and look forward to the rest of the racing in the season.
Would you say it was bad luck last year?
No, it's racing. You know, anything can happen, and we know that coming in. So you make your own luck. So yeah, I didn't have good luck last year, but this year will be good luck for me.
Thank you so much, man, and have a good luck. Johnny Walker.
Yeah, so Johnny's actually been on a roll lately. He's been really strong in the West Series. He wasn't really happy with how the World Enduro Super Series went for him, so he's been really training really hard right now and putting on a big push, and I expect a lot from him this week. He's won it two times before. I know he's hoping for a third win here, and he wants to put the pressure down and really claim a stance here in the West Series. And next up we have Manny Lettenbeek. This kid is on fire right now. But I think it helps also that his dad, Andreas, he's won Red Bull Romaniacs before, and he's a legend himself.
This year in Randburg, so close. Are you ready for the podium?
Hopefully I'm ready for the podium. I got a super nice ride at Erzberg, finished third. Now coming to Romaniacs, I'm super pumped and really looking forward now.
Do you think you're too young?
No, I'm not too young.
Thank you so much. Go prepare. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Doamnelor și domnilor, mulțumim tare mult.
I can't think of a better coach than your dad, Andreas Lettenbeek. Such a legend.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about Manny and his dad Andreas, they're like best friends. So you know he has his personal training coach, it's his best friend, and his dad. It's the ultimate package.
And a role model at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think he's like genuinely relaxed. I think, You see him before a race, and he's like he'd be, I'm a bit nervous, but I think deep down he's still genuinely one of the most relaxed people around.
He's got one of the most fun attitudes I've ever been around, on and off the bike. And you know he was our fastest qualifier today. And hey, he just did that for show for you guys. That was impressive.
That was cool. Yeah, fastest qualifier, Manuel Lettenbeek, with quite a big gap as well.
Yeah, no, it was actually a really strong ride from him. I think he was the only guy that didn't make any mistakes. And you know, we have a 15-minute main event here tonight for the prologue plus a lap. So you know, if Manny was able to hold it together for that one fast lap, hopefully he can do it for all 15. And you know, I think it'd be a huge confidence boost for him going into the week after winning the prologue.
Yeah, no, he's definitely riding strong at the moment, carrying good form off Erzberg. He's got to have high confidence, as we were saying, and relaxed. I think being relaxed in Romania is a pretty important quality too, isn't it? If you can be relaxed around here, you've got one up on the rest of them.
Yeah, I would say for sure if you're relaxed, it's going to make your life a lot easier. And you know, I've never raced Romaniacs, but I've heard a lot of the horror stories. You know, people kind of get out of their comfort zone, and you know, you can get lost in the Carpathian Mountains really easily. So you know, I can see Manny and all these top guys, you know, really being patient. Last year there was a lot of crashes, a lot of people went down. We never liked seeing that, and you know, I think everyone this year is going to be a little bit more reserved. They know it's a long week, and you know, conditions aren't great out there on the mountain. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because I've wondered if being part of the West Series now, whether people are going to think of more of a long game and ride for points, because a 4th, a 5th, or a 6th here is still going to get you some quality points for the West Series, which at the end of the year could win you the championship overall. Whereas normally this is more of a standalone race, and so I think the guys sort of tend to push a bit harder earlier on and end up making these mistakes, having these crashes, and having to pull out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. So it's going to be a little bit different tactic this year since it's part of the West Series. So interesting start feature we have now this year. The lead pack, the first 5 actually start with their bikes up on top of that platform, and they have to run and sprint up to it. So basically, they're going to be out of breath by the time they even get to their bike, and then they got to struggle through the first 53 meters of obstacle after obstacle.
Yeah, so this is the bronze class we're watching lining up. I think we should be underway in 30 or 40 seconds. 20 seconds, as you can see. We've got Milos Novakovic from Slovenia, Janina Koskarelli, Matthew Hannaford, Bieri Mark, and Aivaz Kukoj from Latvia. So these guys, as you just heard from my description of the front row, it's a full international gate. These guys have entered the bronze class, and they're here to give it their best shot.
All right, here we go.
Right, so running up.
No one went down yet, so that's good.
So as you can see, we're straight into the super intense track. There's no let up.
Yeah, it's relentless. Those first obstacles there are just a bunch of tires, and they don't look like much on the screen, but to be honest, they're dangled there with chains, so they move as you hit them, and they're soft, so it's actually a pretty dangerous obstacle.
In practice, they were moving around and grabbing the guys' bikes, like getting trapped between the 2 tires.
The water hole is an interesting add-on too, because it's literally just floating logs in the water, so I was surprised at how easily the first rider got through there.
Yeah, I think this dry weather, I really hope this rain holds off, because if it stays like this, we're in for some good fast racing, a bit more grip. The guys are going to get through a bit easier. It's going to be a bit less of a struggle.
Yeah, so right now with Matthew Hannaford in the lead, it seems like he doesn't want to do anything crazy because things can go really bad in a heartbeat. So he's taking his time here, being patient, but he's already got a pretty nice lead, to be honest. There.
Yeah, so Matthew Hannaford from Australia, we've got him out front, a little bit of a gap. Looks like Aivaz Kukoj from Latvia, he number 501, he's in second, and then 538, Milos Novakovic. He was the fastest qualifier in the bronze class, and he's currently sitting in third.
Oh.
Ivo's just gone down, and those tires you were talking about earlier, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
those tires they were really tough yesterday in the rain, so that's why I hope the rain holds off, because the top guys were barely able to get through there. I mean, it may not look bad right now, but with a little bit of rain, it makes a whole world of a difference.
Yeah, and the thing with this water trough here is the water gets dragged onto the next obstacle, doesn't it? So
yeah, they tried to fix that by putting a sand pit right after that, but the sand pit's so short, you're not.
It's actually quite a clever move from the track designer.
It's a good idea, but it was so short that I think the water is still going to get dragged along the whole straightaway.
So what you can see now is it's really starting to compact. Everyone's getting stuck. The guys behind slow down, they lose the momentum, and then they get stuck as well. And it ends up being a bit of a concertina effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, one of the hardest things about a race like this, it gets so compacted in there with all the other riders. If you were there by yourself, you'd have no issue being able to ride through it. But maybe the line you walked isn't available anymore, and you got to go somewhere else, and you're going to end up in a hole and go down yourself.
Exactly. Now, this obstacle this guy's stuck on right in front of us, it's a moving log. It's on 2 rails, and that was catching out almost half of the gold guys in the wet when they were qualifying. A lot of the top guys were battling on it. In fact, Billy got caught on it in the second qualifying run I saw.
Yeah, so I've actually never seen that obstacle before. I know they've had it here a couple of years, but I saw it for the first time, and I thought it was evil. The track designer came up with a pretty good idea there, and I might have to build one of those at home now on my own personal track to start practicing, I think. The front wheel goes down in the hole. That's not good because the log is so. Look at that, just roosting water everywhere right now.
Cool. So we've still got the Australian Matthew Hannaford. He's in the lead. He's just coming past us now. And we've got, it looks like Fabian Chauffard, a Swiss rider. He's come through in second.
I have a feeling right now that the lead pack are coming in for their second lap right now, and they're taking this as a little rest to prepare for the whole straightaway again.
I've got a quick rundown of the results here. Fabian Chauffard in second, Matthew Hannaford leading. Mark Bieri third, Andreas Meyer in fourth, Ivaš Kukoc in sixth, Janino Coscarelli from Brazil in seventh, and Milos Novakovic, your fastest qualifier, he's in eighth.
Hey, interesting to see the fastest qualifier in eighth right now. Maybe he had an issue, or it's tough though. You know, with one lap all by yourself out there, it's not so bad, but other people get in your way, and it makes it a whole nother aspect of the course.
Yeah, and these guys they've got to do a 10-minute race plus a lap, and let me tell you, that last lap, that can last forever.
Yeah, I know. I've been in that situation plenty of times before in Super Enduro. It's similar to this. Probably not as hard and difficult. I mean, they did a really good job with the course this year, so it's really tough to get through that last lap.
Yeah, what's the biggest difference between a Super Enduro track and what we've got in front of us now?
You know, right now, this is just an evil mastermind by the Prologue track creator. I mean, he's throwing all these different obstacles at the riders, and you know, with Super Enduro or Enduro Cross, there's a little bit of flow, and they want it to be more like a race where you can actually get aggressive and race with the other riders. And here with this course, I mean, this is for hard enduro. This is the beginning of Red Bull Romaniacs. They have to step it up a whole nother level, and you know, look at these guys. It's almost just survival to get around the track. So it makes it a lot tougher than in your traditional Super Enduro race course.
So these guys seem to be actually circulating pretty well, to be honest. I just say that, this commentator's curious, isn't it? We've got a guy stuck in the rocks. Yeah, there's a few big holes in those rocks, actually.
No, there's a lot of big holes in those rocks. And when I did the track walk, I was actually almost pretty scared walking that section because the guardrails are literally right against the track, and it's a pretty decent sized drop to concrete if you fall off the edge of the obstacle there. So hopefully no one takes a hit off the edge there.
Yeah, I think in the past we have seen a few times bikes and riders go into the crowd actually and sort of be pushed back up on their bikes with the support of the crowd.
Well, it's good that they have a little bit of a buffer zone there for the spectators, because it's I know if you've ever experienced arm pump, it's pretty hard to hold on at times, and there's a pretty good chance the bike can go flying. I've done it myself on accident a couple times, and it's never a good moment. I feel bad for the number 441 rare, because it looks like he got half of the body.
That's Ivo Steinbergs. Ivo Steinbergs from Latvia.
Yeah, he just had a nice little bath, so maybe if he was hot, it cooled him off a little bit.
And as you can see, he's straight into one problem into the next, into the sandpit. 5-on-1.
Oh yeah. You can see they're hanging up on that moving log there. Thing's really tricky.
So 5-on-1, that's Ivaš Kukoc. He's one of the leaders. He was up the front. He's on the left of your screen there in the Troy League, number 5-1-1.
You can really see it piling up right now there in the back. It's pretty difficult looking.
If there was one bit of advice, if someone asked you for it right now, if one of these riders yelled out and said, Cody, what should I be doing? What should I focus on? What would you say?
I would just say focus on not falling in the holes and avoiding the other riders. I mean, there's so much advice to give in this type of situation, but I think, you know, for me, the hardest bit is just trying to stay clear of all the chaos going on around you.
Yeah. It's easier said than done, though, I feel.
Yeah, no, I can sit here easily right now and see everything that's going wrong, but if I was on there on the track myself, I'd be having the same issues.
So that's 464 we just saw, Mykolas Polavicius from Lithuania. I apologize for any pronunciation difficulties I'm having. I'm giving it my best shot. But you can see it's really backing up now, isn't it?
Yeah, I almost want to see some action where, like, a spectator, someone's giving them water on the side of the track, you know? Like, that would definitely add to the character of this race.
I'd probably look out for that, because it's probably something that's needed, to be honest. Now, what we didn't mention earlier is the 12th qualifier in this class was Kirsten Landman. She's from South Africa. She's a bit of a legend in the hard enduro world. She's finished the Roof of Africa a couple of times. She's finished silver class, I think, maybe a few years ago here. She really gets stuck into it. She's actually dropped back to bronze class, I see, this year, and I'm sure she'll be giving a lot of these guys a run for their money by the end of the week.
Yeah, it's most definitely. It's really cool to see just like the diversity of everyone, you know, female, male, all around the world who just come to do this race. I was doing a whole little walk with all the fans earlier today, and I was talking to people from all aspects of the world, so it's really cool. Everyone comes to this town of Sibiu, Romania, just for this whole week for Red Bull Romaniacs.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a festival vibe going on, doesn't it? Especially this morning when everyone's sort of, it's not so intense, like it's just the prologue. I mean, it's still got to deal with this, but people have got a bit more time to talk to each other, go and have something to eat together, and yeah, it really is a truly international event.
Yeah, no, and the cool thing is you say it's just a prologue, and you know, I know a lot of the top guys treat it as just kind of like, I want to get through this safely and have a good strong rest of the week, but you know, you look at all the fans here in town, and this is a huge gathering for them, so you know, they feel like they're a part of it, and it's, I love that aspect of it, because you know, when they're in the mountain, that could have been really bad, decapitation if you rode into that, but you know, it's really cool because in the mountains, the riders don't really get to see anyone at all, you know what I mean? So here they're doing it for the fans.
And that's actually a good point. Andy Fazekas, who designed and built this prologue, every one of these obstacles, he tries to sort of recreate an aspect of riding in the mountains and in the forest and bring it to the city and try and show someone walking down the street what these guys and what we do in the mountains. It's been explained to me, each of these obstacles. I'm probably going to not regurgitate it very well, but it's really interesting what he's thought and how he's done it. And I think if you use your imagination, you can draw the parallels between the two and see where he's got the ideas from.
Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday, and it was whoa, we got a bike somehow on the other side of the barricade there. That's what I was saying, you know, if you're on the edge of the track, you easily can just have a mistake and go down. So luckily he looks like he's all right.
So yeah, the arm pump's really kicking in right now. These guys are.
Yeah, no, I'll give them the credit.
The mistakes are creeping in. Yeah.
That there is Ashley Topham stuck in the tires. Looks like he's trying to get back on his way now. Oh, skid plate hanging off there too.
So what this actually? Oh no, it wasn't. Sorry, I'm mixed up. That was Ivar Kuko. So your fifth qualifier, the guy who was actually leading or coming second, he's the guy who just went off the track and got his bike caught in that railing. So it happens to anyone.
I actually took a quick glance at the bike when it was down there, and it looked like his muffler was pretty bent off to the side. So really hoping that if he was in the lead still, to hop back in there and try and still fight for the win.
So the significance of this prologue with regards to the rest of the race is basically the order they finish in here is how they're seeded for the off-road start tomorrow morning. So and it does actually make quite a big difference, because if you can have a good prologue, get in with a bunch of fast guys in your class and ride with them at the start of the day, you can sort of get towed along with them, you work together, you navigate together, you can maybe even help each other. Whereas if you have a bad prologue, you could start off in 30th or 40th, and you'll be with a much slightly slower group of riders, and you could end up losing quite a bit of time. It's really interesting to hear the top guys especially talk about how it can affect them.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things going on in the mountains, almost kind of like teaming up, where you know the rider behind will catch up and they'll pace off each other. And you know, I think when you got the lead pack going, they'll throw a really strong pace down. And you know, a rider who didn't have a good prologue finish, who has that speed, he won't carry that pace because he's not in that lead group. So it makes it really tough. And sometimes when they help each other, he'll kind of be left hanging all alone.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it also works the other way. I remember last year Johnny Walker was quite pissed off at the end of the race because he ended up finishing third, which meant he started first. In the gold class, the top three get to pick their starting order, so generally the first place finisher will choose to ride third. And so what that means is the guy, if you have a few riders in front of you, you have a few tracks in the grass, a few lines to follow, and Johnny reckoned that made a huge difference, and it was actually worth minutes at the end of the day. So so basically everything we've just told you is really, it's quite confusing. There's so much stuff going on, there's lots of tactics, politics, all sorts of things.
Yeah, I think normally for the average rider though, like, you know, for a guy, the third to fifth rider out, it's a huge advantage, I think, instead of being the first, because you have other tracks to follow, you don't have to quite rely on your GPS as much, and it takes some time away
Exactly.
from your eyes looking at the GPS if you're the first rider out.
And I think the idea of having someone on the track in front of you and you can focus and try and push and catch him, so every time you get to a grass open field, you're looking in the distance, you're trying to see if you can catch him. I think that can really spur people along.
So we just had number 511, who was leading, the one that went off the track, and I mentioned his muffler looked a little bent up, and he just rode right across in front of us, and pretty sure his muffler was hanging out of the header pipe.
In the background there, if you look closer, you can see a lot of the gold class guys walking down the side of the track and trying to see what's going on. Wade Young was just in the back of your picture before.
They want to see the trouble
Okay,
zones.
so we've just had Janino Coscarelli come through. I think he's our new leader. So Janino is from Belo Horizonte in Brazil. He's been riding his whole life. Actually, the pleasure of riding with him and his friends when we helped organise the Minas Riders Enduro in Brazil last year and the year before. He's come over and he's given bronze class a go. And the front of your picture here, number 555, that's Kirsten Landman, who I was mentioning earlier, the South African rider. And look there, great example that she's pushed her bike through. An interesting choice of bike. Every other time she's raced here, I've seen her on a free ride. Okay, so that looks like 4, 3, 1. Yeah, that was Sergio Vaquero. He's just completed 2 laps. So he's not actually a winner who's just come through past us. Sorry, that just confused us there.
Yeah, we have riders pulling off the track to get water, so obviously this is no joke right now.
Yeah. We say it's only 10 minutes long, but it's a super intense 10 minutes. These guys are getting a quick drink on their way down the back straight.
No, I mean, even when I was racing the Super Enduro Series, it was a 6 minutes plus a lap, and you pretty much feels like eternity by the time the race is over. So 10 minutes right now on this course, I'm feeling the pain of these riders.
I remember actually seeing some. Might have been your heart rate monitor. You put up like a screenshot of what your heart was doing in one of these races.
Yeah, it's a little over the top. I mean, it's racing so high in this high intensity stuff, and there's no time for rest on a track like this. The good thing about being in the mountain stages, it's a long day. You need to pace yourself a little bit more. It's not an all-out sprint because. If you did that all day, you'd just pass out and you would never make it to the finish. So your heart rate isn't as high on the longer days, but the amount of calories you're burning is incredible.
Yeah, so according to my live timing I'm watching here, we've still got Janino Coscarelli, who's the sole rider to have completed 4 laps. So as far as I'm aware, he's still leading the race. But I think he got sent around for another lap, so he should be coming back soon, hopefully, to win.
So interesting thing about the Red Bull wall ride, earlier today in practice it was raining, and they're getting through it no problem right now, but it was almost scary earlier today. It was really dangerous.
Super slippery.
So slippery.
I was watching some of the best enduro riders on the planet battling on a flat piece of timber. Yeah, like I saw Tim Coleman, who's a super skillful rider. And he was basically stuck on a flat piece. He was trying to turn his bike around, trying to lift his bike over a tiny piece of wood and then get going into this wall ride.
And as a rider, it's so frustrating because you can do that no problem, but just the conditions, it's insane how much more difficult it becomes.
Yeah. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it does look like it's clouding over a little bit again.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say, I felt the temperature drop here really, really quickly, so hopefully it passes over us.
Okay, so it looks like we've got Fabian Schafaz come through in second, Matthew Hannaford in third.
I feel the pain for that guy right now, 407. He's definitely on arm pumps trying to just get through this last lap right now. You look at 513 there. He takes his hands off the bars. I've had those moments plenty of times before. It's never any fun.
You can see Kirsten Landman there at the bottom left of your screen, number 555. She's still circulating, doing really well.
Yeah, it is interesting to see because every time I've seen her compete before, she was on the KTM free ride. So I wonder what kind of changed her decision this time around.
Yeah, so it looks like she's gone
bike.
to bronze class and a conventional enduro bike.
Yeah.
So we'll be really interested to see how she goes. Cool, so we've got some confirmed results here. Giannino Coscarelli from Brazil, he's come in first. Fabian Schoffar from Switzerland in second. Matthew Hannaford from Australia in third. Mark Bieri in fourth. And Brent Brady in fifth, also from Australia. So Giannino looks like he's used a bit of experience he's picked up. He's done a bit of riding over here previously. He's done a lot of riding in Brazil. Be interesting to see how he gets on in the slippery mountains of Romania.
Yeah, I was going to say it makes sense why he had a good finish today because after riding in Belo Horizonte, it's definitely crazy terrain out there. So we'll see how he kind of fends off the rest of the week. And I saw a couple Australians there in the top 5, so obviously they've been stepping up their game. And, you know, I've ridden there once before, but I didn't get to really experience many of the hard enduro stuff. So definitely something I'd love to do and ride more in the future. And, you know, you see a lot of guys coming from there, New Zealand, I don't know, it's just a whole, we got people all around the world here, so it's so cool to see.
Yeah, and it's actually, Australia is one of the countries most well represented here at Romaniacs. I think they're the second or third highest represented country. England is the highest, I think, with around about 80 riders. Oh, and he's taking the meters barrier out. I think he's got away with that. He's all right.
Yeah.
You notice how he's running a trials tire on the back of his bike and the front, actually.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I definitely see the advantage. You know, in the back tire, it just hooks up so well. And you know, the only problem is maybe sometimes in the muddy stage it doesn't clean out as well. But in the prologue, something like this, I think it's actually a huge advantage to be on the trials tires.
Yeah, they're just a bit softer, aren't they? Get a bit more rubber on the ground. And when it's super slippery and wet, they work
Just have
out
a
well.
big contact patch, but unfortunately there it didn't work out so well because he ended up off the side of the course. He's got his light dangling there. He'll have to fix that before the race tomorrow, so he's actually street legal.
I hope he's got a mechanic waiting for him when he gets off that bike after this. A little bit of work to do. Be putting on a fresh tyre, I'd say, fixing that rear light, filling it up with gas, checking the coolant, and he'll send him off on his way for the first off-road day tomorrow.
I like the style right now of 304 right now. Mindaugas, he's just hanging out there chilling. Got to recover to finish off that last bit of the lap there.
Also, this is the last few bronze guys just making their way around the track. Next up, we've got the silver class, which is typically a super intense, hard-fought class right to the bitter end. We've had some really good riders ride silver. Some people even drop down from gold. They come up from bronze. Legends have been made and broken in silver class.
I mean, the silver class is just a great introduction to Rebel Romaniacs and potentially riding gold in the future. And you know, one really crazy thing, I met Matthew Green earlier today. He's only 16 years old. His first time here riding internationally in a hard enduro race, and you know, he's from South Africa. And I mean, it's pretty incredible. 16 years old, coming here riding the silver class, and he finished 8th in qualifying. So, you know, I'm really going to be looking forward to watching him all week.
Yeah, 8th in qualifying is really strong. Matthew's from Pietermaritzburg, which is a hotbed of South African hard enduro talent. Nearly all of the South African hard enduro riders that you'll see today in at Romaniacs, they either come from Pietermaritzburg or they live there or they train there. There's something about that place, I don't know what it is.
I was talking to Daryl. Daryl Curtis is from South Africa, and we were having an argument in Erzberg in the booth about, you know, trying to figure out why the South Africans got it figured out so well. But, you know, it's really cool, 16 years old here, so keep an eye out for him. And our first place qualifier today in silver class, Dieter Rudolph from Austria, he's actually been multi-time finisher of Erzberg, and I think he finished top 10 this year, so
yeah,
he's going to be a really strong rider, I feel like, here today.
So that can show you the quality of some of the riders we've got here in the silver class. he's a top 20, 30 rider in the world, and he's he's in silver. So, in second qualifier we've got Will Westgarth from the north of England, Michael Wagner in third from Austria, David Garza from Mexico. I've never heard of him before though. I guess he's friends with Jesus Zavala, Chucho. They all seem to know each other a bit in Mexico. And Manuel Guinness, now he's our 5th place qualifier in silver. He, was a pretty crazy fact I heard about Manny. He's your guy on the second from the left on the screen. Well, I was told yesterday he's competed in all 15 Red Bull Romaniacs from the very first one, which is a pretty crazy record, the only guy to have done it. He's a local Romanian guy, number 100 on his bike there.
I think for sure they should give that guy some type of trophy for being the only guy crazy enough to ride this event all 15 years. That's really impressive.
From memory, he came second last year in silver too, so he's still right at the pointy end of that field, still getting amongst it. I think he's ridden Dakar as well, so he's a super experienced guy.
Oh yeah, the experience pays off in an event like this. I mean.
And then the opposite end of the spectrum, we've got Will Westgarth there, number 108, young gun from the north of England. He rides under Mark Jackson's wing, under the Eurotech KTM wing. Pretty cool, relaxed guy. He does a lot of these extreme enduros all around Europe. His brother, Joseph Westgarth, he qualified 10th, so he'll be on the second row. So we could see the two of them battling it out.
It's also kind of interesting because Mark Jackson at Eurotech, their sponsor, he's right in there with them in silver too in the top 10 qualifying. So, it's just crazy effort. Everyone's coming together from different countries, and you got all these riders hanging out together, and they'll probably end up qualifying somewhere in the same part. So I imagine they'll be riding a lot of mountain stages with each other.
That's a really interesting contrast here. We've got 8th qualifier Matthew Green, a really young rider from South Africa. Our 9th qualifier is Mark Jackson, a veteran trials rider who's been doing this for years and years. Owns a KTM shop in the north of England. Do you want to hazard a guess at his age? I don't know if I want to take a guess.
I'm not going to do a guess.
But yeah. So what you're seeing here is the bikes lined up, the riders are down below. Each year, Martin and Andy, they like to mix up how they do this prologue. They like to throw something different in for the riders. And this year we've got a Le Mans style start. The guys have got to run off the tarmac, up the ramp, jump on the bikes. So might have been thinking, shit, I should have worn my running shoes for this one.
Yeah, maybe. I see some of the riders there wearing the Alpine-Star Tech 7s or a lighter boot, Enduro sole, so maybe it's better for running.
Is that a sponsor plug, Cody?
Maybe just a little bit. Actually, people are always asking me all the time why I wear 2 different pairs of boots. It just depends on what I'm riding. But
right, whether it's a running race or a
running race or moto-style race, it just depends.
Okay. So that's probably the best advice I've heard from Cody so far. Is if you want to run, buy some Tech 7s.
Yeah. If you want to ride moto and hit big jumps, I guess wear the Tech 10s. But
Okay, so 1 minute to the start.
Honestly, I think this would be the worst part of the race for me right here. My broken foot does not do well with running at the current moment.
And the crowd has really filled up. There's like some gardens down the side, lining the track. We're running about 6 to 8 people deep all the way along the fencing, and then there's people standing up on the terraces behind it. It's pretty packed right now.
I actually see people standing on top of a van over there right now too.
And trees, yeah. Okay, the 20 seconds. There we go. Who's going to whole shot the running race?
Is it called a whole shot when you run too? I don't know. Who wins the sprint?
Pretty close on the bikes, almost synchronized. Who have we got coming out? Have we got the Mexican, David Garza?
Oh yeah, he had a really strong start there. Look at that. He must have been a triathlete in the past because he really pulled a good sprint there right off the bat.
Yeah, it looks like he's going well. Keep the front high, keep the front light through the logs.
I was actually talking to him just yesterday, cruising around at the hotel, and he, I think Mexico is trying to have a good scene with hard enduros coming up. They're really making a push, and there's been some promoters there talking to me, trying to do some races as well. So I think he's going to be a really strong rider because he wants to make a point and get some more hard enduro in Mexico.
On the right of your screen, Dieter Rudolph has just taken the lead. So that's the guy I was saying earlier. He's actually finished Erzberg multiple times. If I was going to call it now, I'd probably say he'd be my favourite to win silver this year.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want to jinx him though.
I don't want to jinx him either, but I have to agree with you. He's got really good bike skills. He's just a strong guy. He's tall. He's got leverage on a lot of the other riders. So it's long couple days. I can see him really coming out strong by the end of the week.
Yeah, it looks like we still got David Garza in second, and Will Westgarth looks like he's slotted into third.
And we got the rest of the pack coming up on board here.
That was Stephen Simpson, number 222, just going through your shot there. Now Mark Jackson, number 122, he's the owner of the Eurotech motorbike shop we were talking about earlier. He's pretty clinical. You won't see him getting too messy. He takes his time, uses his trials technique.
I was actually just going to mention that. I was watching him. He hopped off that last obstacle, and he just looked ahead like a trials rider would and was trying to pick his line, decide where he wanted to go.
Yeah. He's also using his experience. He knows it's not you can't win and lose this race in the prologue. Well, you can lose it, you can hurt yourself. You're not going to win it here, you know?
You're not going to
You're
win.
better off, a lot of the time, better off just taking it easy and getting through this one and conserving yourself for the off-road days coming up in the next 4 days.
Yeah, you can see just how difficult
we'll run through We'll just run through the leaders at the moment. Dieter Rudolph, Manuel Guinness, Marcel Teutscher. Oh, Marcel Teutcher's come through in third. David Garza in fourth, Will Westgarth in fifth, Michael Wagner in sixth, and Matthew Green, your man from South Africa, he's in seventh.
Not too bad. I see, like you said, Marcel Teutscher there in third. He actually started on the second row, so maybe starting on his bike and not having to run gave him the advantage. He wasn't out of breath by the time he got
he's
going.
He kept that low heart rate for the first straight, perhaps. Robert Nowak's come through in 8th, Joseph Westgarth's come through in 9th, and Robert Schall in 10th. So there's your current top 10. Now you can see here, I think that's 1, 3, 4 is Dieter Rudolph. So he's already coming round. You see in the middle of your shot with the white and blue helmet. He's already halfway through lapping the rest of the field. So this is how condensed it gets, how quickly.
We just had number 173, Michael Wagner, take a little bath. It's not too warm out right now, so it probably didn't feel very good to get all soaked like that.
Mark Jackson's come through in 11th, Joseph Westgarth in 12th. Oh, sorry, I got that confused. So the shot you're seeing right there, it looks like everything is super close, and it is, but it's actually taken over a distance of about 200 meters, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a pretty long straightaway, to be honest. It took a while to walk through it yesterday, and I think we're even having, a lot of these guys are getting lapped already. Seems like, because the leaders were coming through pretty quick in this race.
Yeah, so an update, we've got Dieter Rudolph still in first, Manuel Guinness in second, Christian Paul Harper, he's coming to third, he's a local Romanian rider, Adam Giles in fourth, James Jackson, Mark Jackson's son, he's in fifth, and Florian Kirchmeier into seventh. Sorry, in sixth. There's Matthew Green there on the Peps and Plastics Husqvarna and the orange gear on the right of your screen. Looks like he might have gone into a little bit of trouble maybe. Maybe he slipped back a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's just being patient. I talked to him earlier today and I said, same thing you said, you can't win the prologue, but you can definitely lose it. So I told him, just get through here strong and keep moving forward. That's when you use your buddy for support and keep you holding up.
See, this is not what you want. We've got 3 guys sideways in the log section.
I like the little bunny he had hanging on the front of his bike. Maybe that was for good luck.
Now that's Stephen Simpson, number 222. He qualified 6th. Getting caught up in the barrier there.
It almost would have been better to turn around and not get hung up.
184 is Joseph Westgarth in the back of your shot there. Now it's Marcel Teutscher just sneaking through on the right of your screen there. So we've still got Dieter Rudolph leading. He's done 2 laps, but I'm yet to see anyone else come through and complete their second lap. So the progress has really slowed down out there.
I want to mention I haven't seen too many 2-strokes, and that guy right there was one of the first 4-strokes I've seen out there. So he's kind of a brave soul. Hard enduro. Not many people stick to the 4-stroke, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see that, isn't it? I think you tend to see more 4-strokes in bronze and silver than you do in gold.
Yeah.
From memory, it's only Philip Schultz the last couple of years who's been running a 4-stroke in gold and finishing quite well, actually.
Yeah, no, he's actually finished very well on the 4-stroke, and I think just this year with the West Series, he's been on a 2-stroke at the first 2 hard enduro races. So I don't know what he's on today. I guess we'll find out during the gold main event.
Okay, that's David Vaz in the back of your shot there on the beta, number 189. Okay, so we've got a few more guys come through for their second lap. David Garza may have... Oh no, sorry. I'm getting confused here with our live timing. It's not so easy to read. I'm doing my best, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so we've had Dieter Rudolph. He's come through for his third lap. So far everyone else is still on their second lap.
Yeah, Dieter Rudolph, like we said, he's going to be really strong here, and he's definitely proving it right now. Then we have 133 Suf Sella coming through.
So 133, the guy in the Fox gear, just in front of us, a young guy. He's a young Israeli kid who will definitely be one to watch. He's been coached by Paul Bolton for the last few years. He's sponsored to race motocross by a French motocross team. And the rest of the time he's riding extreme enduro. He's just doing all sorts of stuff.
All right, so we have updated live results right now. We have Dieter Rudolph still in the lead, Emmanuel Guinness in second, Marcel Tucher in third. David Garza has moved back now to fourth. We saw him hung up there in the water, and Will Westgarth in fifth.
Yeah, so Marcel's on a bit of a heater. He's come through from the second or third grid, and snuck his way up into third.
You know, he's definitely riding really well right now. Oh no, this is a very common scene right now. This water hole's been claiming bikes all day.
That's one of the Westgarths there, number 184, sneaking through on the right. Now the thing, what you can't see, it's obscured behind the wooden platform. The riders come out of those huge rocks, and there's that log in there that moves. And if the rider in front of you has dragged it forwards, it can make it really hard. If they've dragged it backwards, it also makes it hard.
It honestly makes the timing impossible, because you'll be coming at it and you'll envision it as like a stable log, and you'll mistime your wheelie completely because it comes back at you a lot faster than you expect. And if you think about it, you hit it with your front tire, and it knocks it forward, and then it just totally misses with your head as you try and get over it.
Exactly, and you think you got your rhythm sorted from the last lap. Yeah, cool, that worked last lap. The next lap you get there, and it's either moving or it's a completely different place. So, and qualifying, that was catching so many of the guys out.
Yeah, look how almost every rider that comes into there drops the front end right on the first log.
Yeah.
And it kicks the rear end
The
sideways.
logs before it are so slippery, and of course all the water's being getting sprayed back on them. So you can't get any drive off them, and your front wheel dips under the first hole.
I'm actually surprised, to be honest, that the water doesn't seem to be dragging across as much of the track as what I expected it to.
That's that sand trap you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the huge sand trap, I guess, is soaking it all up.
Might have to go and congratulate Andy on his clever design there.
Yeah.
Really well thought out, actually.
I still think Andy's kind of evil, to be honest.
So far, the weather still seems to be holding off. What do you reckon it's going to rain 2 minutes before the start of the gold final?
I really hope it doesn't, just for their sake. There's a number 188 American who's ridden quite a bit of extreme enduros in the States and had really good results, Evan Ask. So it's really cool to see him come from the States all the way over here. And also another rider, Dustin McCarthy's in this race as well. So I don't know where they're at right now, but I love seeing people from all over, and especially everyone back home in the States.
There's Dieter Rudolph there on the left of your screen, number 134. Still circulating by the looks of it.
I feel like I can see these guys starting to fatigue a little bit more. The legs are flailing a little bit.
I'm picking up on the same thing. There's Dieter Rudolph, your leader. Still looks pretty fresh though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's looking pretty solid at the moment.
There's Matthew Green coming through in the yellow gear.
That was a clean run there.
Yeah, it looks like if you keep it on momentum, you can float across the top.
Yeah, I think it's really crucial to just keep the front end light and lean back as far as you can.
There's David Garza, our Mexican rider we mentioned earlier.
He's really picking it apart there. Like, oh, I saw the look of exhaustion there for a second.
You can see the fatigue in his face.
Yeah, he's sitting down a lot more, taking breaths.
That's Suf Salah there. So that's the young Israeli rider who's really is one to watch in the future. He's super young, super talented, really hard working. He's got a great coach in the form of Paul Bolton. He's previously raced Sea to Sky and Romaniacs on an 85. Last year he raced an 85.
Oh, no way.
So that's
pretty
Marcel
incredible.
Teuscher, that's their number 130. He just got caught up in the logs there. And that's Matthew Green sneaking past him around the outside, so that could have been a place change.
That could be, yeah. That'd
It's
be
hard to
really
know because who knows who's lapped each other,
Yeah,
but
I know.
yeah. So yeah, Suf Salah riding silver here on a proper big wheel bike now on a 125. Well, actually, it might be the 150. Will be really just interesting to see how he gets on.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough with the smaller motors sometimes, but the bikes just feel so light, so it probably helps out a lot.
Exactly, and I'd say with his lightweight, he'd have a pretty good power to weight ratio. Okay, who's that in third, Cody?
Looks like Matthew Green, the 16-year-old from South Africa. I kind of felt like he had some confidence in his step earlier today. Oh,
Who's that in fifth, Cody?
Fifth, Dustin McCarthy, California boy. My boy right there. No, that's really cool to see. I'm pumped for Dustin. Dustin actually came with his brother and his dad's 60th birthday. So they wanted to come here and race Romaniacs, and he's in fifth right now, so it's really cool.
Really good. You ride with him back home?
What's that?
Have you ridden with him back home?
Yeah, so it's actually, his family has this awesome ranch in Southern California with motocross track, enduro cross track, so he's got an awesome training ground.
What we just saw there, I think, was Dieter Rudolph. This is Matthew Green on the left of your screen. I think that's Dieter Rudolph lapping Matthew Green, who's in third. So that's how much faster Dieter Rudolph is going.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put a bid in to get Dieter in gold class next year, I think. Whoa! Oh, no. And he hit Dustin.
We've just seen this live. The bike got up so high, it caught my eye at the top of the computer screen. That's one of the Jackson, is it the Westgarths? Yeah, that's one of the Westgarth boys. He's not going to be stoked with that.
Yeah, I don't think Dustin's going to be too happy about that either, because he got totally sideswiped, and he qualified all the way in 20th and made his way to 5th and just got cleaned out.
Oh, was that him there? No.
Yeah, that was Dustin getting
way.
taken out. So, coming from 20th, qualifying position in top 5, that's tough.
There's Suf Salah, number 133 in the blue Fox gear, just wheeling over, and he's just gone into he's just picked his bike up on the side of the track.
I think there's a magnet over there on that part of the track. They're just dragging all the bikes into that corner.
Cool, so the boys have had the checkered flag, they're coming in now. We're just going to wait for some official results. I don't want to call it too early because you never know what's going to happen. Who knows what's changed in that last lap. But yeah, you'll see, I think you should see a graphic pretty soon with an updated final results. There's Suf coming around for his last lap.
He's looking still pretty fresh there.
Yeah, still looking good. He's a fit young lad.
Look at that. He's all the way off the back of the seat, legs flailing, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. He's getting maximum traction back there.
If it works, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there's Suf we were just talking about coming through the finish around the wall ride, which is thankfully much drier than it was earlier today.
Yeah, look at there's still a lot of
As you
guys
can see,
out there on the track right now.
absolute carnage. Half the guys, we're just watching the guys come past us. There's gloves off, helmets off. Yeah, they look absolutely stuffed. Half the field's still out there battling.
To be honest, most of the riders are starting with no goggles on to begin with, or already behind their head because they know they're going to overheat.
Yeah, I've actually seen a few of the top guys riding with goggles on with the lenses removed.
Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Actually, I did that in Brazil with Minas riders on day 2. I somehow lost my helmet cheek pad. and my helmet was wobbling all over the place. So I stuffed a bunch of paper towels and I duct taped. My helmet was still wobbly, so I just put my goggles on with no lens to keep the helmet stable. It worked all day. I think it was like 6 hours with no helmet cheek pad. It wasn't very comfortable.
Didn't you beat Graham that day?
I did. I beat Graham by like 4 seconds or something.
A win's a win, huh?
But a win's a win.
So that
with
was
no cheek pad.
Yeah. So this is Mark Jackson, number 122. Oh, that's one of the Westgarth. Oh no! That's one of the Westgarth boys, who's sponsored by Mark, who he's just passed. And he was going for glory, wasn't he? I mean,
yeah, he was going. He didn't want to let him. He wanted to beat his buddy, but he gave us a textbook endo, so it worked out well. Hopefully Dustin's all right. I see him rolling in. He was hopping off the side of the bike, so he got hit pretty hard from the flying bike.
Okay.
You can already see him in the background prepping the course a little bit already.
Exactly. You can see Andy and his boys doing a little bit of running maintenance on the track. It gets so beaten up with all these riders. They try and build it so strong and overbuild it, but regardless, every year something happens.
Yeah, no, there's no way you can keep a track like this.
Yeah.
Good the whole time, and they only have very little time to go back there and fix it in between races. So
exactly,
they're rushing when people are still out there on the track.
They do a pretty amazing job with this. Only 3 or 4 days ago, this was a functioning street, one of the main streets in Sibiu. There was nothing on it, and then 3 days later, you've got this massive man-made track all over it.
Yeah, it's really impressive deal how they come together with not much time because. It's a live street we have here.
Okay, so we've got some final results here, guys. Dieter Rudolph, as we did predict, he's won the silver prologue. Robert Noack from Australia has come through in second. Matthew Green from Peter Maritzburg in South Africa has come through in third. Manuel Genners, 15 times Romania competitor, has come through in fourth. And Robert Schall from Germany is in fifth. So next up, we've got the main event.
Yeah, this is what we've all been waiting for. I mean, that was all a great show, good racing, and we lost a lot of people hung up there because the track's tough, but it's going to be a whole nother level now with the gold class riders.
Yeah. Next, we've got the creme de la creme. We've got the best enduro riders in the world, all in one place.
Yeah. So earlier today we had Manny Lettenbichler, first qualifier. Johnny Walker was our second place qualifier. Paul Torres, ex-trials rider turned enduro racer, he finished third. Billy Bolt was our fourth place qualifier, and Taddy, his first time here since 2010, was able to qualify fifth. So I'm actually really looking forward to see how this is going to turn out because I have no idea who to pick for the win.
This must be the first time in a long time that you've watched an endurocross race on a TV.
Yeah, without being part of it.
Especially with all these guys, exactly. Now, what was interesting about qualifying is Manuel Lettenbichler qualified fastest by, I think, 7 seconds.
Yeah, he had a substantial gap on the other riders.
Yeah, to put that in perspective, like everyone else, I think the next 5 or 6 riders were all within 2 seconds. So he's obviously doing something right here. When I was watching it, basically everyone made a mistake and fell off. Like all the top, I think the top 5, I watched them all slide over, lose the bike. I think what Manny did is he pegged it back a little bit, kept it a bit smoother, and got through without any of these big mistakes, and that's what put him in first.
Yeah, this race is so tough to really make a push because, the faster these guys go, the quicker they're going to come to the next obstacle. And the first 53 meters, there's no rest at all. So I think, the first little bit is where those mistakes were probably being made because everyone was pushing too hard. And, Manny, he's got a great trainer, coach on his side, so I think his dad told him to ride calm, keep the nerves down a little bit, and it showed with him getting the fastest qualifying time. So hopefully it pays off for him and see how he does in the main event. I'm really happy the rain was able to hold off. I mean, I don't want to jinx it yet, but it's going to make the racing way better for all of us.
Okay, cool. So what we're seeing right now is the front row, the fastest 5 qualifiers. They line themselves up on the first obstacle. I guess they're going to set their bikes up and then walk back and then get ready for the Le Mans start. So from left to right, we've got Tadej Blazusiak, Billy Bolt, Paul Taras, Manuel Lettenbichler, and Johnny Walker.
it's interesting to see here where everyone kind of chose their position. You see the first two qualifiers are all the way on the far left of the starting straight. So, you know, maybe there's something better about the lines later where it's just a better option for them to take.
Exactly, it's going to be interesting. Now, the next row, 6 qualifier, we had Wade Young and then Graham Jarvis, Paul Bolton, Mo Rahman and David Ciprian.
You know, what's actually really impressive, our 11th ranked rider was Alfredo Gomez, and we know Alfredo had a really bad knee and leg injury early this year, and he's been doing so much rehab. You know, he wanted to be back on the bike so bad racing, and you know, he made it back in time for Romaniacs, but you know, he's still not even 100%. He's risking it all right now just for the love and passion of the sport. So
yeah,
you know, I'm really excited to see him out here racing and see how he does.
He raced the prologue of Erzberg, but he obviously didn't feel comfortable with attempting the main race, so he missed that one out. But so here he is now. This is him with his first big race back. I follow him on Instagram, and he seems to eat a lot of desserts. Have you noticed that? Lots
Yeah.
of cakes and treats.
Yeah, Alfredo loves the dessert a lot. I feel like he's cut down a little bit on it lately. He looks like he's trimmed up. You know, ever since the injury, I think he's really motivated at getting back. But he actually looks really fit right now. But you can still be fit and enjoy a dessert.
There's
every
nothing
night.
wrong with a creme brulee after a big cycle ride,
nothing.
is there?
On all the time, I'll see him drink beer a lot. So, you know, a lot of these guys like to kick back and relax. You don't want to be too tense.
High in carbohydrates is there.
But I don't know, I feel like in Europe, you know, back home, everyone doesn't eat dessert at the restaurant. It's just not a natural thing. They go home and eat a tub of ice cream. But I feel like here in Europe, it's just a customary thing to do, to have a nice little slice of cake afterwards. And, you know, Alfredo likes showing it with the fans. And
Is that
I
part of the
enjoy
culture
seeing
you
it
can
too.
get involved in?
Oh, I love it here.
Yeah.
Every time I come to Europe, I got to enjoy a little bit of dessert afterwards because I don't do it at home.
What would be your favorite European dessert? Apple strudel?
I do love apple strudel. It's really good.
It's probably up there, right? Okay, so let's get down to business. Enough about apple strudels. We've got 1 minute to start for the Red Bull Romaniacs prologue for the gold class. I'm gonna call it. Okay, Cody. Who's your pick? Quick fire.
Normally Alfredo Gomez is such a beast in the prologue, but since he's hurt, I don't see it happening. I'm going to go Billy Bolt, Johnny Walker, Manny Lettenbichler, Taddy Buzuziak, and Graham Jarvis.
Yeah, you can't count them out. Okay, we've got 20 seconds. Billy is on a roll right now, I feel, with the Super Enduro stuff.
And he likes to put on a show.
You can never, yeah. He's so strong. The bike's going one way and he'll pull it back, eh? He'll sort it out.
All right, here it is. Watching the flag. Ooh, Taddy's going for a little jump there.
They're creeping.
Billy with the long legs.
Billy's
is out.
what a
the
technique.
bump start.
He's pushed his bike off and did it work out? He did. Manny's in second, Billy in first.
Oh, Taddy's riding the
Taddy riding the median barrier.
Wow, these guys are really riding strong right now.
You can see the difference between these guys in the silver class, how they attack the track. So Billy and Manny going neck and neck for at the front. Second rower off, that's Blake Goodsight and the Yamaha just going past you on your screen. Johnny Walker looks like he's in fourth. Okay, so at the moment we've still got Billy Bolt leading. Manny in second, Taddy in third, Johnny Walker in fourth.
Poltara's in fifth.
That's
Wade Young creeping up on the first pack there.
You can see Billy's riding style, it's just almost forceful. He's
Yeah.
a trials rider, but he doesn't mess around.
No, he really doesn't at all.
That's Paul Bolton on your screen.
Travis Teasdale there on the beta coming through with Blake Goodsight right behind him. You know who really impressed me is Nathan Watson. He had a pretty good qualifying time, and you know he's not really ever. This is his first year ever riding hard enduro, and you know he's a motocross specialist, sand specialist. I think he's going to do so strong near the end of the year in the West Series. So he had a good finish here in qualifying, and I'm excited to see how he does.
Qualified 13th, which is really impressive. So we've got Billy Bolt, Manny, Taddy, Johnny, all coming through really quickly, so it's still super close. Paul Terrace in fifth, Wade Young in sixth.
The top six pack just passed by right now, and they have quite a bit of gap right now on Paul Bolton, who's in seventh. So these guys are really putting a hard charge right now.
And you can see Billy's already through the water trough. So again, the same as the last class in silver, we're going to get a lot of lappers going on. That's Grady Byrne from Australia, number 30 on the left of your picture. Super fit, a really strong rider. I rode with him a few years ago here in Romania, and I'd never count him out. I reckon he's got a good chance of finishing gold at the end of the week. Another interesting rider to watch out for is Tim Coleman. He's an Australian rider, and you may have seen him on your YouTube channel. He's super skillful. He's also an X-Trials rider. Some of the videos he puts up, some of the tricks he does, you should look him up. It's worth it.
Yeah, no, Tim Coleman's got incredible bike skills. He really hasn't done too many hard enduro races, though, to be honest. So, you know, he did See the Sky, did Romaniacs before, so it'll be really interesting. We just saw Johnny making a pass on Taddy there.
Things are really heating up, aren't they? So that's Travis Teasdale on the beta in the front, and David Shipgreen just behind him. Paul Bolton, number 3.
Uh-oh. Someone right in front of Paul, I mean.
This looks like Gomez and Graham riding close to each other. Gomez, number 14. Hopefully his knee holds up.
Yeah, so we still have Billy in the lead right now. Manny's in second. Taddy just came through in third, so I guess Johnny had got hung up there right after he got past Taddy, so he's dropped a couple positions.
Yeah, so still got Billy leading, Manny, Taddy, Paul, Johnny, and then Wade Young. Billy Bolt sneaking around for his third lap there.
Yeah, these guys, the lead pack right now is really putting on a really impressive pace. I haven't seen him really get hung up yet.
Joseph Garcia there, number 20 on the right of your picture. Rana Uzna, number 31, making his way through the rocks.
Yeah.
And Joseph Garcia, your new teammate.
Yeah, my teammate, Joseph Pepino. He's he's an awesome rider. He's so incredibly fast. I mean, he's an enduro world champion, and just like Nathan, it's his first year kind of being thrown into the hard enduro scene with the West Series, and he had a really good finish in both Erzberg and Lagares, and obviously he did really good in France at the Treff. So it'll be interesting to see how he does at the end of the week.
Yeah, he's really impressed with how well he's done with this hard enduro stuff. That's Graham Jarvis, your defending Romaniacs champion, number 1, who just come through in front of your shot.
And we see Graham, with his riding style, just his normal method where he just picks everything apart. Wade Young is putting on a pretty good charge right now.
Yeah, Wade Young looks like he's caught up to Taddy. Michele Bosi on the back of your shot there on the beta, an Italian rider.
I've seen Michele Bosi on the X-Trainer sometimes too, so he may be on the full-size bike or the X-Trainer, kind of like the free ride that he was riding, so I wonder what bike he chose for this.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation actually, yeah. That's
Lars
Inockel from
Austria.
He's Austrian.
Yeah, he was a KTM test rider forever, and now he's switched over and riding a gas this year.
Yeah, the sole gas competitor in gold this year.
Yeah, well,
he seems to like the bike. He told me he really likes it.
Yeah, I know earlier this year he's actually coming off an injury, so maybe by now he's fully recovered and ready to go.
So Billy there on the left of your screen, number 6, still looking super strong. Philip Schultz.
Yeah, so Philip did choose the 2-stroke this time around.
Yeah, he's changed back.
Torres is going around him there.
Manuel Edinburgh looks like he's got a little bit caught up. That's Grady Byrne from Australia, number 30. You don't need a graphics kit to enter gold. It's good to see. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like he's just being really meticulous right now and trying to pinpoint his lines and not do anything stupid.
Paul Bolton making his way through the logs. I feel like maybe Paul was the only person who was a bit upset that it didn't rain. I feel like Paul and a wet prologue goes hand in hand. It seems to be his specialty.
Yeah, Paul loves sport of hard enduro, and he's been here for a while now, training in Romania, so I'm sure he was looking forward to some rain. And actually, it just got darker, I feel like, in the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we can just sneak through and we're going to be lucky, but maybe the last lap will be contested in a wet prologue.
They would not be happy with that.
No.
If I was riding, I would not be stoked.
Yeah. Cool. So you can see, we were saying earlier how strong and talented the gold class is, but even for the best riders in the world, they're still getting caught up. They're still causing problems for them. You can see how hard it must be for the other classes.
It's so hard to tell now. So many riders going on. I don't know who's in which position anymore.
So we've got Billy, Manny, Paul, Wade Young, Taddy, Johnny. From what I can see on the screen in front of me. Don't quote me though. Billy Bolt, look at that. Look at the momentum he's carrying.
Oh my goodness.
So he's just lapped Michele Bosi. He's really taking this thing apart by the looks of it.
Yeah, his confidence is just unreal. I mean, I've never ridden with someone that just makes such huge moves without ever getting in trouble, rarely. I mean, he'll have crashes here and there, but he does the most ridiculous stuff.
Okay, so there we have it.
We got Billy Bolt leading still, Manny still running in second. Poltar has actually moved up to third, with Wade Young in fourth now from the second row, and Taddy's moved back to fifth. So we saw him hung up in one little bit there, so maybe that must have been where he lost a couple positions.
Yeah, so I was watching Billy in the qualifying, and it was really wet then, super slippery. And basically the whole way down the track, the bike was going one way, his shoulders were going the other, but somehow like it all sort of, most of the time it worked out. I think he had a few little tip overs, but
I actually just saw a lap time pop up, and earlier today, a lot of the top riders were about 146, 147, and Billy had a 142. So he's running a faster lap time right now than he did all through practice.
So what this means is if Billy wins this prologue, he can choose where he starts within the first three positions for the off-road start tomorrow. Normally they choose to start third if you win, and that gives you a few riders ahead of you on track, which can work out to be quite an advantage for the first day. Look at that, he's feet up, holding momentum. That's that log I was telling you about earlier.
And it didn't help that he had the other rider in the way. Like we mentioned,
the rider on the left of your screen, in the orange, that's Norbert Leventes Jose. He's the top Romanian rider, and he's had some really good, strong results this year. Gomez is still circulating? Looks okay?
Gomez is just, he's being smart right now. He knows he's not 100%. I talked to him yesterday, and he just wants to go out there and be a part of it. Oh no, this is not good.
So we've got Manny Ledenberg, Nathan Watson,
second, but
and David Ciprian, and in the background we've got Taddy, who's pushing his bike through.
Wow, that really shifted the results right now for sure, because Johnny was
it looks
a little
like,
bit back.
See, Paul's just dropped it. Things are really heating up. We've got Johnny, Paul, Taddy, Manny, and all within the same frame.
I'm pretty sure
David
these guys
Ciprian,
are having the battle of a lifetime for second right now.
It's really kicking off. Looks like Billy seems to have cleared out and got himself a buffer, but the rest of the guys are still scrapping it out for second.
I think sometimes that's one of the most stressful things about endurocross is it can be the slowest race if everyone goes down and you're all battling and you can't get away from anyone and you keep making mistakes. So looks like they got out of the mess a little bit. They're regrouping.
The pressure from the other riders has got to get to you, doesn't it? Still nice, really nice from Manny there. A foot off on the balance beam. So it looks like Manny and Paul having a bit of a battle.
The whole thing about the teeter-totter is really tricky because you cannot follow anyone, because if you do, you're going to run directly to it, decapitate yourself almost. So we saw Manny had to change his lineup a little bit because the teeter-totter wasn't all the way down.
Yeah, luckily there's three to choose from, right? Cool, so Billy Bolt's just come through. He's just completed his sixth lap. He's almost lapped Mauro Roman, who I think's in the top six. So that shows you how much of a heater Billy is on.
And we really haven't seen any mistakes from Billy yet, to be honest. So he's got an incredible pace, and he's just riding flawless, to be honest.
There's Joseph Garcia, number 20, in the back of your screen. It looks like Taddy's coming around to lap him, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and Johnny was just in front of him, I think. So,
so things are still super close, and here we have Manny right behind those two. So any mistake from anyone is going to cost them places here.
Yeah, I wonder what happened, because it looked like Manny got through the water hole really easy there. So someone must have been in the way, and when they had that whole changeover with all the top guys getting hung up.
You can just see number 23, Tim Coleman. You just had a little hiccup there. That's Travis Teasdale, number 5. young South African rider, also from Pietermaritzburg, the same place, same as who's the young guy?
Matthew Green.
As Matthew Green. Our memory's gone on me. Okay, so we have Manny and Taddy battling it out with a bit of dead. Paul just in front of them.
These guys cannot get away from each other right now at all.
And it's interesting, a minute or two lost in the prologue the final result on the fourth day, it can still come down to it. I've actually seen it before with Graham and Johnny. When it's a close race, sometimes a minute or two lost in the prologue can be the difference between winning and losing.
We just saw Johnny get up to the top of the thing there and take a look back to see where everyone's at, see if he has a buffer zone.
Right, so we've got some changes. Billy's held on to the lead, Wade Young's still in the second, Johnny to third, Teddy to fourth, and Manny's still in fifth. But we know those the third, fourth, and fifth places are still super close, so anything could change.
Pretty impressive right now to see Bull Tara's doing so well, because he's still kind of new to the hard enduro scene. In the last couple of years, he was known as like a very trialsy style rider, and now he's really picking up the pace.
Yeah, he
seems to be
improving each race, doesn't he?
But I just heard him ride by us, and I'm pretty sure his muffler fell off or something, because it did not sound good, and he was wide open, and he was just slowing down Taddy. So I think hopefully he can keep it going and the bike holds off.
So that was Florian Peyre, a French rider, number 26. So Taddy, Manny, still neck and neck. Is Wade coming through? I think he's still in second.
Wade's another really strong rider, just like Billy. He doesn't have like the size and height that Billy does, but he's just...
In terms of pure strength.
In terms of pure strength, he's just so fit. I think it really plays a huge, crucial role in how he does so well in all these hard enduros.
In Romania, generally, if it's a faster and a drier day, Wade's often your man who's taking the win home.
Yeah, I've done quite a bit of races with Wade now, and the little bit faster days, it's incredible how fast he's going. And even at Lagares, I had lost my goggles, and he was behind me, and I couldn't ride that pace in the dust. I couldn't see where I was going, and I basically just pulled off the side of the trail and waved him by, and he said, "Cheers, mate," as he went by, and I laughed about it with after the race. I was like, I couldn't handle that pace. I was going to hurt myself. I was going to let you by.
Yeah, so we just saw Pierre Pelou, a French rider, just fall off backwards off that the wooden platform. Johnny snuck by the side of him. There's Johnny at the front of your picture, just disappeared. Yeah, I think Paul's expansion chamber has come out of the manifold.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's
safe
what
to
happened.
say.
The muffler was there, but the pipe's sure out of the manifold.
Yeah. As Wade, using all the strength he can, still circulates really well.
He's got the forward momentum though, so that's all that matters.
Exactly, yeah. Wade has this uncanny ability to just always keep the bike moving forward and straight. I'm not quite sure how he does it.
It seems like Johnny just rode by. I think he may have had an issue because some of the other guys got by, and he was holding his hands up at the mechanic, so I think something might have happened to him.
Okay, so watch this space. Maybe we get an update on some results and we can see what's going on. Mario Roman just going by on the Father Seesaw, we call it. It's not the teeter-totter in New Zealand.
Yeah. It looks like Billy was right behind Taddy and those guys.
Yeah, so is this Billy lapping
I don't know.
Taddy and Manny? I think it is.
If that is, it's really
I think this is similar to last year. Gomez lapped, I think, up to second or third last year, and it seems like on this prologue you get a roll on, and yeah, if that's just happened, that's something else.
Well, I mean, if you're staying out of trouble, and with the pace like Billy's having, he's staying out of trouble, he can for sure lap these guys, because we've already seen Taddy and Manny have a couple hiccups and issues with getting hung up in the water, and actually, if you think about it, Manny and Taddy and those guys have almost been battling each other this whole race. They can't get away from each other, so they're just spending time holding each other up.
Yeah, do you think that's held them up a bit?
Yeah, it's for sure held them up. I mean, they're going back and forth, they're battling with each other, and they're actually going to start riding a little bit tighter because they're in a little heated battle with each other.
Yeah, exactly. So that's Pierre Pelou, who's a really good French rider, number 25, just got caught in those tyres. That's Wade Young, having to push his bike through the logs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a guarantee any lap you're going to get through here clean.
Okay, so Billy's on 10 laps now. Yeah, the other guys are still all on 9. I'm just watching the live timing come through.
Yeah, so
Looks
Billy's
like
just really putting it to
we've
him
got
right now.
Taddy, then Manny, Johnny.
Oh, yeah, here we go with the results here. So
Yeah,
Billy
here we
Bolt
go.
is leading. He did lap those guys. Wade Young still running in second. So Taddy in third, Manny's in fourth, and Paul Torres with the expansion chamber pulled out is in fifth still.
It's obviously not affecting him too much. Maybe a slight decrease in power has just made the bike a little bit easier to ride when you're fatigued.
Yeah, it might actually make it a little easier for him right now. Doesn't sound very good, but you know, smoother power band.
Exactly. That's Wade Young on the new colour shirt. There's a bit more white in the colour scheme this year.
Yeah, I think.
Is that Mario? Mario might have just hurt himself and come down.
Oh no!
So hopefully he's
Not
okay.
good, yeah. Looks like he's standing it up, so he'll be all right.
So in this one shot, you can see Johnny there on number 13. That's Travis Teasdale, number 5, just behind Paul Bolton on the KTM.
Pauls looks like he's still running the same pace from the beginning, so I think he's just happy with the pace he's running at. He's just going to stick with it.
Yeah. Okay. So we just had Billy come through the finish. He's been showing the checkered flag, so I can tell you now, Billy Bolt is your official winner of the Red Bull Romaniacs Prologue. The other guys coming through now, but they are a lap down. It's pretty crazy. So we're just going to wait for official results and just go from there.
I mean, that's actually really impressive with Billy. He was riding really strong, never got hung up, and actually yesterday in the rain when everyone was making the prologue almost look impossible, he was throwing these crazy lines together that I didn't even know was possible. So, you know, he's really hungry right now, and I think he wants to prove to everyone that he can win these races.
Yeah, pretty impressive talent. Is this is this making you worry about next year in the Super Enduro?
Oh yeah, I was worried at the beginning of the season because I knew he would be gaining a lot of experience really quickly, and it paid off.
First place in the prologue. Walk me through the race. How did it go for you?
Yeah, pretty good start. Pretty much got the lead off the line. Had a little battle with, I think it was Manny, first lap, but you know, just stayed mistake-free pretty much the whole race, and it's you know, proved off second last year and one better this year. So yeah, pretty stoked.
Now it's rare to have a clean race here at the prologue. How were you able to accomplish something like that?
I think I had a few pretty clever lines across the back markers when it was sort of really stuck, and I sort of felt, you know, I don't think anyone behind will spot those lines or anything like that. So I thought I was building up a bit of a gap sort of steadily as the race went on. But you know, just took it easy when I needed to. You know, if there was no space at all, I'd give the guys a minute, because it's that hectic. It's just one hole after the next. If you start pushing on in, you're just going to push them into the next one as well. So give them some breathing space, and it's worked out pretty good.
Now, this race determines the starting order for tomorrow. You coming in first place. What are you going to do?
Yeah, pick of the first three now, so I think I'll pick third and just try and catch the guys in front. But even the guys behind, you know, solid riders behind, you know, like only starting a minute behind. So with a 4-day race, I feel like you can afford, if someone catches in, they've got good pace, it's not such a bad thing to follow on either. So a long way to go, by no means over, but it's the best start we could have had.
Now, it's the 15th year of this race. How's this prologue, and what do you think of this thing?
It's dried, to be fair, it's dried out really good, like in the last hour. Like when we rode it this morning, it was like pretty much unrideable. But no, it's dried out really good. You could ride it. There was like, you know, 2-3 lines in every section. So I didn't really get held up for more than a few seconds. So despite, I think there'll be a lot of complaints, but for me, it worked in our race. Maybe it's for the other classes it was tricky, but for our race it worked.
Romaniac's crowd and the fans.
Awesome. Like you could barely hear your bike the whole way around, and like they're hanging over the fence here, and the track's like barely even wide enough to fit a bike, and I'm like clinging my bars on the railings as I go down, and there's like kids just stood there, and I'm like, you guys are nuts, but you know, fair play, outdone themselves yet again.
Congrats, man. See you tomorrow.
Or Taddy, and then I think Johnny passed Pole last lap, right? So Johnny was 5th or 6th. I think Johnny was 5th or 6th. I think.
Okay, so we've got some confirmed results. Billy Bolt in first, Wade Young comes through into second, Taddy pulls out a third, Manny in fourth, and Paul Terrace with no exhaust in fifth.
Yeah, it was actually really impressive by Billy, how he was just able to never have one mistake the whole way through and just keep charging hard. And I mean, I'm looking here at lap times, and we have multiple lap times matching Manny's fastest lap of the day in qualifying.
Yeah, it looks like he was like lapping about 10 seconds faster a lap than all the other guys who were locked in a super intense battle. So if I was Billy, I'd be feeling reasonably confident for tomorrow.
Yeah, no, hopefully he doesn't get overly confident right now, but Billy's definitely on a high right now. He's really excited about that, and he's in a really good position going into tomorrow's first stage to the mountains, just because he has the choice when he gets to go out. He's obviously going to choose third. I hope he chooses third, because that's the smartest thing to do, and he'll have the other guys make the mistakes in the beginning and follow their path.
Yeah. Tomorrow, from what I understand, I've ridden part of it. It's quite a fast day. They go all the way from Sibiu to Straja. There's a liaison, a 50-kilometer liaison involved in the race. So the riders get a bit of a break halfway through. But either way, it's going to be intense. Rain's forecast, as it is all week. So it could be a long, cold, wet day, covering a lot of ground. I think in total, the Gold Riders are going to cover about 200 kilometers.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a big day. And I mean, I know they get a break in the liaison, but you're still on the bike. It's a long time. Your hands can be tingly just from riding the roads for so long. I don't know how tough it's going to be on that transfer section, but it can definitely play a part.
What's your last performances like, and what did you do so well today?
Yeah, I really can't believe it. I'm just so happy. My best year is 6th, and that's my best in prologue, and I'm always not upset, but just a bit frustrated. I would like to be a bit up, and now today I'm second, so it's a huge jump. I really wasn't expecting it. My goal was 5th, so I couldn't be happier to start second going into tomorrow.
So with your second here, you choose to start second for tomorrow?
Yeah, so pretty much the first 3 get to choose their starting order, so obviously the first rider will start 3rd. So I'm really stuck in second, but I'm happy with that. I thought about waiting a bit to maybe start 4th or 5th, but you know what, it's my first time on the podium, so I'm just super pumped to be on the podium.
Yeah, the adrenaline running, how do you slow down?
Yeah, I know, it crossed my mind, I was like, nah, I'm going. So yeah, super happy.
And then who were you battling with throughout the whole race? Anybody, everyone?
So much carnage out there, you don't actually know where you're at, but you sort of just recognize, Taddy and then Manny. So I was pretty much with Paul Therese a bit and Taddy all the whole race pretty much.
And then podium here, that's good momentum for off-road day 1. How do you continue to keep that momentum throughout the rest of the off-road days?
You know what, it's a long race, still 4 more days after now, so I'm in no rush, So I rushed it a bit last year and I learned my lesson, so I'm in no rush. I've done the hard work, so I know I can really dig deep when it comes time.
What happens now?
Go back to the house, chill, let my family know, give them a shout out, celebrate a little bit, and concentrate on to the main days.
Congrats.
Yeah, or he pushed it through somehow.
Talk about that.
Oh yeah, so we just saw from the silver class, I don't know if you remember Dustin McCarthy, 155, when he was running 5th and the bike flew out of nowhere and cleaned him out, completely blindsided him. They both went down. They just pushed the bike by us right now. I was talking to his dad for a second, and it ripped his throttle cable off, and we saw him come through the finish, so he must have had some random fans or someone help push his bike through that last lap, but big bummer for him for sure.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy he just made it through and he's still in one piece. Apparently he's not injured, so that's the main thing.
Anyway, so I want to talk a little bit more about what's coming up next. So, we talked a little bit about day 1. What about day 2?
Yeah.
This race is 15 years old. The prologue seems to get harder and harder each year. Talk to me about some of the obstacles on the course and kind of just the overall impression of the event.
Yeah, to be honest, the obstacles itself, they were pretty good. The thing was, we ran into lappers, lap 3 or maybe even second lap, and then, it made it a little bit difficult. I went over the bars once, but hey, I mean, this kind of racing is a little bit sketchy, but this is what it's all about.
You're on the podium for the first day. How do you keep that momentum going?
Just take it day by day, just gonna go out there and try my best.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Cool. So yeah, that was just heard from Taddy, obviously. So he'll be starting first tomorrow, I'm guessing, having finished third in the prologue. Will be interesting to see how he manages the navigation. The track team will be doing a really good job. Should be lots of marking out there, so I don't think he'll be getting lost. I'm sure he'll find his way. But it will be interesting to see how the results come out tomorrow evening.
Yeah, even with like it's marked pretty well with the GPS, but there's a lot of times where you can just make one little small mistake and you'll lose, you know, you're not losing a bunch of time, but, you know, for a guy like Taddy, first guy out, no other tracks on the course, you know, the other guys can actually make up a lot of ground really quick on him if a little mistake happens navigation-wise.
For sure. So yeah, we were just talking briefly about the track earlier. So day one is quite a long and faster day, but still with a few extreme bits. Day two is more of an extreme day, you could say. A little bit shorter in length, around about 110, 120 kilometres. For gold and silver, it's constantly going up or down a hill. There's not much flat stuff in it. It's been really wet out there the last 2 months. It's just rained. So yeah, the guys can expect lots of mud, lots of roots, rocks. It goes into some alpine areas. There's a ski resort called Straja, down to the river valleys, back up to the side, and basically just repeats that all day. So should be really full on. I think the guys will enjoy it. We've been riding it and getting the track ready for the last few weeks. It seems to work in the mud, so fingers crossed it works for the other guys as well.
Sounds like there's going to be a lot of pushing from what you just explained to me.
I hope we've got the mix right. I hope there'll be a bit of pushing involved. I mean, that's hard enduro. There should always be a little bit of pushing, I feel. But yeah, not too much. I hope the guys will make it to the end and everyone will be stoked with a good day.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it.
You can see Matthew Green and Peter Rudolph running down the side of the track.
They're not tired. They still want more. They want to go out again.
I think they've just been told they're late for the podium ceremony, so they got to get moving. So for you, Cody, what's your plan for the next few weeks?
Yes.
Or after Romaniacs, what's your plan? So what we've got now, so we've got the bronze prize giving, as we said earlier. Giannino Coscarelli from Brazil, Fabian Chauffard from Switzerland, Matthew Hannaford, Mark Bieri in fourth. That's not that's iron.
Yeah.
Unul din America, vă dați seama că drumul a bătut americanul să ajungă până aici, dar a meritat, a câștigat prologul.
Qualifying earlier in the day, they didn't have a race, so these guys will be the three fastest qualifiers from Iron.
Actually, the guy on top, another American, came here with the McCarthy family, and you know his dad turned 60, so they all wanted to come here and ride Romaniacs together. So he's actually broke his back last year, and he didn't want to risk anything and get hurt, so he just wanted to cruise around with his dad. And he ended up winning the Iron class today. Works out in your favor sometimes.
Right. So he's actually quite a good rider, but he's entered Iron.
Yeah, he's coming back from a really bad crash he had last year racing endurocross. And he actually got up and walked off the track with a broken back and a couple broken bones in his foot. So I think he's a pretty tough guy, to be honest.
Gnarly. And it looks like the sky's getting darker and darker, so looks like it's gonna rain any second.
I know, I'm about to grab my jacket right now, but
yeah,
it's really cool to see. Everyone's still hanging out. The race has ended. I think just all the fans are excited to be a part of it all.
It looks like the first umbrellas come out again, so underneath our tent we can't feel the first bits of rain, but it looks like it's already started. So I think we were lucky. Next up, we should have the bronze podium. Matthew Hannaford from Australia.
Not a bad finish for him. Good start to the week.
Yeah. Oh, careful. Looks like the podium's a little bit wobbly. The guys might need to be careful. They're not done with the prologue yet. It'll still catch you out.
Yeah.
So Giannino Coscarelli. His beard's grown considerably since I last saw him. But yeah, he looks pretty happy. He's at the top of the bronze podium. Set him up well for a strong start to the week.
I think the beard gave him a little bit extra power today for that.
It's like it did.
For that win.
Maybe to absorb some of that moisture on the track.
Yeah.
Made it a bit drier for him. So, I said to us earlier, what's the plans for you for the next, well, what's your comeback plan? Have you got sort of a timetable worked out?
You know, I was really hoping to be here and race Red Bull Romaniacs for the first time, but I just wasn't healed enough after crashing at the Erzberg rodeo. So, you know, my knee's healed, but my bone's still broken in my foot. It's almost there. Just, you know, I would have probably got hurt again. Just wasn't quite ready. So, you know, I'm going to take. Oh, he's struggling there a little
Janino
bit.
is battling. This is not what he wants.
But
I'm sure his family will be watching at home, and
they're not proud right now.
He's finally got it, but it's a little bit late.
You know, I plan on being back on the bike probably within the next 2 weeks. So, you know, as soon as I get home from my European trip here, since I just got married, by the way, I guess I'll say that. I just got married. This is part of my honeymoon. I figured I'd enjoy Red Bull Romaniacs at the same time. So, you know, as soon as I get home from my little honeymoon trip, straight to get back on the bike, and I'll be racing the Tennessee Knockout, another extreme enduro, and back in the States. That's quite a bit of guys from the hard enduro scene come and race it now too.
Cool.
So it's really tough and slippery, and
I'm
looking
sure-
forward to be on the bike in general, to be honest.
Right. I'm sure Megan wanted to go on a honeymoon to a motorbike race.
Yeah,
So
exactly
so
what
here
she
we
wanted
got
to
is
do.
we've got the silver podium here. Dieter Rudolph in first. Robert
Yeah.
Nowak in second
We got Matthew there,
and third.
16 years
The
old.
boy from
so
Peter Maritzburg, he's done really well.
he doesn't know what to do with this. They shouldn't give him that champagne right now. But, you know, it's really cool. I talked to him and his family earlier today, and, you know, 16 years old, first time competing internationally on a level like this. And I remember going with my dad, 16 years old, to Spain and competing in trials events. So, you know, I kind of was able to relate with him and talk to their family a little bit. So it was really cool and kind of felt like me in the past. So, you know, I hope the best for him in the future. And obviously it seems like he's got it started on the right foot.
Yeah, coming over to the other side of the world and racing at that age has got to be a hell of an experience. Oh, Robert Nowak's battling. He hasn't even got the wire off, and he's trying to pull it off with his hand. Maybe he's a bit unfamiliar with this whole. He's just smashed the bottle. Obviously, Robert's first podium.
Maybe he's taking off on a boat or ship here pretty soon. Is that what you're supposed to do? Customary to break the champagne bottle. Yeah, Dieter's going to be really, really tough to beat here for sure.
Yeah. But as we said before, anything can happen out there in those mountains.
This rain really needs to hold off right now for this final little bit of the podium. It's sprinkling on
It
us.
has just started, yeah. So you may see a fair bit of the crowd sort of vacating the premises. It's because it started raining.
I don't blame them.
It's just the tough ones sticking around at the moment.
So, well, now we're sitting here. Our picks were pretty close, I feel like, for the top five. I know we both picked Billy. And
I'm not sure if I called anything, but yeah, I feel like you were on the money there, Cody.
I was off on my pick on Johnny. He was still up there in the top group, but just mixed up a little bit. So I was pretty close.
We all make mistakes, you know.
Yeah, it's impossible to make the right call on this. Well, they just called Taddy's name for the podium.
I think he might be a little bit late.
He's going to be a little late here. He was still riding his bike around by us, so we'll get him over there.
Now, yeah.
In regards to the rest of the week, who do you think is going to be able to take this top step?
As I said earlier, if it's raining, I don't think you can look too much further than Graham. He's got to be at least half a chance, 50% chance, I'd say.
Yeah.
He's just done it so many times. He's still at good form, and when it's wet and difficult and cold, he's just there, you know. He's Mr. Consistency. Obviously, Billy, on the current form he's got, he's improved. I think this is his third race in Romaniacs this year, and he's getting better each year. Whether he could pull it off for the win is a big call. You've got to have a lot go right. You've got to be super consistent here and stay out of trouble. Whether he's got the maturity to pull it off this year remains to be seen, but we'll see. I reckon Johnny is the other one for me.
Yeah, Johnny's had a lot of good finishes here in the past. And
Yeah.
last 2 years, the injuries kind of caught him off guard, so I think he's really looking forward to try and get back and get his third win here.
Yeah. I feel like Johnny's on a roll. He's carrying some good form into this. He's the current leader of the West Series. He's good at everything, isn't he? He can ride the fast stuff well, good in the technical stuff, good in the mud, good in the dry. So
I'm just wondering if Johnny might start thinking about points and going in a little bit of conservation mode. I'm not sure, but
yeah.
I know he wants to have a good finish here. So
maybe Johnny will be happy with the second and third and get the solid points. It will be interesting to see how he plays his cards. Here's Martin Fernandez riding Teddy's bike up on the right of your screen.
You can actually see on the screen right now, the rain's coming down pretty good. So I'm just really glad it held off for that final gold main event for these guys.
I'm hoping the rest of the week's going to be like this. I'm hoping the last race finishes, the last ride crosses the line, and it starts raining.
Yeah, definitely. Because
somehow I can't see that coming true, but dreams are free. There's Frank, that's Wade Young's mechanic, helping him pull his bike up on the left of your screen. It's really starting to rain now.
this is just a precursor of probably what's to come in the next couple days for these guys, unfortunately. I didn't bring my umbrella here today either, so now I'm going to have to walk back in the rain, I think, back to the room.
You can get a taste of what the riders are experiencing.
Yeah.
So, you hope to be here next year?
Yeah, no, this is one event I've always wanted to come to. Just things haven't worked out in the past, and I was so excited this year to be a part of it. I feel like I could have had a good finish here, and unfortunately it didn't work out.
Let's see who's got the champagne opening technique down. Looks like Billy's got it corked and primed, ready to go. Wade's ready. Yeah. Teddy, the consummate professional, he's jumped the gun. No, you can tell these guys have done this before.
Honestly, it's really cool to see Taddy back. You know, we had a small little retirement stint, and you know, I think he just realized he still loved the sport and wanted to be a part of it. So I'm happy to see him come back and have a good finish like that.
Yeah, Teddy did some media work last year, and every time I saw him on the track, he was out riding. Every time I saw him, he was so stoked. He was just so pumped to be out there riding. He was always so positive about the tracks, enjoying it, and you could tell. And when I saw a few months later that he'd announced he was going to come back from retirement, I was kind of like, yeah, that doesn't really surprise me, you know.
I think he was riding more as a retired rider than as an actual professional rider. So he was fired up, made it back.
And here we've got all the podium riders from all four classes up on the podium at once. So.
Oh man, yeah, you can see it's pouring pretty hard right now. Well, at least their gear still looks clean after the prologue.
I doubt it's going to look like that after off-road days 1 or 2, or 3 for that matter. So the next time you might hear from us will be for the end of day 4 at Gustovica, the big famous hill climb. We've got a few extra surprises in store for the riders and for you guys watching at home. We've got a lot more new hill climbs, gnarlier, bigger, steeper than before. Still rideable though, not too crazy. Should see lots of carnage, and we get to find out who's going to win Red Bull Romaniacs for 2018.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that. And I've been hearing all the rumors, all the little tricks and new details being added to the track. So it's going to be a really great race. I'm so glad right now that these guys didn't have to do that wall ride in this rain because everyone is fleeing right now. And I don't think they could even get around a lap, to be honest, at the moment.
Okay, so I think we've just been given the call to wind this up, and there's an electrical circuit, there's a multi-box at my feet, which is currently getting water splash on it, so I'm also quite keen to not be sitting right here as the rain comes down. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. That was the best Cody and I could do, to commentate in the Red Bull Romaniacs 2018 Prologue. Keep up to date with it online, redbullromaniacs.com. And yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you know, if I wasn't going to be riding, this is the next best thing. So, you know, I'm still happy to be a part of it, and I'll be following it all week online.
Well, that wraps up the 2018 Red Bull Romaniacs Prologue and the Heavens of Open. We hope you've enjoyed it. Racing kicks off at 6:30 tomorrow morning, Central Eastern European time. We spend tomorrow night in the little town of Straja. And be sure to catch up with us on the next 4 days, 4 off-road days of incredible racing out here in the mountains in and around Sibiu. Stay tuned.